Okay, hi. I want to make a video about some of my conspiracy ideas because I think that people need to understand them because they're real. Um and I don't know how to begin this topic because they make so much sense in my mind, but I don't really know how to verbally convey them in a way that will make sense to you. So I'm just gonna kind of try with this like I always do. So, okay, first of all, social networking sites. They're a conspiracy because think about it. This is America, right? And we're free. Okay, so um, they can't just know where we are and what we're doing every second of the day like they do in Russia, you know. But uh, but if we give up that right of privacy as soon as we join Twitter or whatever because we say where we are and what we're doing, like, oh yeah, eating a sandwich, and then say you want to and I don't even know how they classify that stuff because say you go to court and then you need an alibi, you need an alibi, and oh look, I posted on Twitter what I was doing at that time. I said I was sitting there eating a sandwich, and then do they count that? Is that a good alibi? I don't know. So I don't know. Well, I think that's definitely a conspiracy because they know what you're doing because you have no privacy anymore. It used to be you could be at home burying your cousin in your backyard and nobody would know about it. But now you're just sitting on Twitter being like, oh yeah, burying my cousin, it's just, oh, and okay. And then, okay, and then another one is that, hipsters. Don't don't pretend you haven't suspected it because it's real. Because okay, hipsters. Okay, so think about this. Um, so okay, the ultimate goal, their ultimate goal, is to um make people the same. Because if everyone is the same, they can control us and will be easier to control. For example, if you have a big box of mice and um half the mice like cheese and half the mice like crackers, then you can give them cheese and only half will go with you. But if you make it so they all like cheese, then they'll all go with you. So it's they're easier to control that way. Get it? Okay? So they want to make everyone the same. So what they do is it's been a process. It's taken time, but eventually the biggest problem, the biggest obstacle that would get in their way to making everyone the same is the people who would be like, no, I'm my own and I have my own original ideas and I'm myself and I'm me and I'm not like anyone else. I'm not just like a normal person. So what they had to do was to find a way to make non-mainstream mainstream. You know what I mean? They had to find a way to get that attitude um of um hold on a second. Ow! Fucking bitch! What the hell? Die! Seriously, what the fuck is your problem? Sorry, it's my zombie sister. Anyway, okay, so they had to find a way to make um, the attitude that was against mainstream, that was their obstacle. They had to find a way to make that mainstream. So they had to so what they okay, this is what they did. They had this process. Okay, so first of all, like it's pretty obvious to see the evolution of subcultures. You've noticed it. You might not realize that you've noticed it, but you have noticed it. Like, who cares about monkeys turned into people? I don't want to hear that crap. Tell us about how scene kids evolved into hipsters, you know? Because, alright, first of all, well, hipsters, that was a later idea. Their first idea was they thought they would have it with the scene kids because they thought they could because alright, so like they had this idea with like the okay, well, alright, first of all, you know how the scene kids were all like, rah, I'm a dino, and like they had the whole mustache thing, and like what else? Oh, they said epic all the time. Yeah, all those things became mainstream. Dinosaurs became mainstream. Bright colors became mainstream. Big hair became mainstream. Uh, Hair extensions. You know that day you walked outside your house and every kid on your block had hair extensions. You remember that? Yeah, that was because of the conspiracy. And then the okay, okay. There was Um, the epic thing. Everyone is saying epic. Epic. It's so epic. Okay, you know where epic came from? It was the scene thing. Like that was scene slang. Like that was what they said. But now everyone says it. And you know that background noise you hear. It's because my sister is pissed because she wants to use the computer, and so she's trying to do stuff. Okay. Anyway, so and so that didn't work because the scene kids are just like, no, I'm a dino, rawr, and they're just like, oh, we made that mainstream, sorry, and they're like, oh, I'll come up with something else. Like, if you won't let me have a mustache, then I'll just have something else. But okay, the whole mustache thing, like you've seen those girls wearing mustaches and like pose a picture like, yay, we must ask you a question, but we'll shave it for later. You know that thing? You've seen that, I know you have. But okay, so how would they make that mainstream? Hipsters. Hipsters. Like, after the scene kids gave up the mustache thing, hipsters picked it up like that. Like, hipsters and their mustaches are just inseparable these days. Like, you go to any hipster store, like, I don't know of any, well, I can't tell you what they're called because they're not mainstream. There's no, like, chain of hipster stores. That would be a contradiction. That would be an oxymoron. So anyway, they 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 anyway they have stores, but you go into any like hipster store and they're gonna have mustaches like all over, like these little like comedy items, like a book about mustaches, and there's like a little reflective thing, and you hold your face up to it and it puts a mustache right there, and it's like, oh look, I'm a hipster. But okay, anyway, and so think of that though. You could have like do different ones, like a Hitler mustache on one, like a cowboy mustache on the other one. But okay, anyway, okay, and so another part of it was that let's face it, being a hipster is mainstream. The definition of a hipster is someone who's just like, oh, I liked that before it was cool. Mainstream is stupid. But let's face it, they're mainstream now. So through the evolution of the subcultures, from like the whole punk and then goth and then emo and all this stuff, they tried to like divulge it into scene, which easily be transformed into hipster. And now hipster has been made into mainstream. And then you know that thing, it's like those movies, like it's kind of weird because like if you watch Benny and June, you'd be like, the heck are these hipsters? But that was before the word hipster was even around. That was back when it meant underwear. So but like, and then it's weird how they've taken over the media. Like they're on these commercials now. Like there's, oh my gosh, have you noticed how many commercials have hipsters in them now? Like it's crazy. And I don't hate hipsters. Like a lot of people just have issues with them. Like they say like, oh, you're a hipster, gross. And like a lot of people I know that are hipsters don't want to be called that. They think it's kind of offensive, which makes sense because any stereotype, any subculture label is just bad. But you know, like um um gosh, I lost my train of thought. But okay, so they've succeeded. I mean, ultimately, this was their goal, to make everyone mainstream, so that they will all be the same, so they can control us. So they're like, our biggest weapon, which was going against the mainstream, is now mainstream. It's like, seriously, like, if you say, oh, I liked that before it was cool, and you legitimately did like that before it was cool, even if you're telling the truth, people will still call you a hipster, okay? Because they won. I mean, they don't have to win. I mean, if we realize this, then they don't win. If we realize this, and then um, like, you have to realize how important this is. Like, we have to realize what they're doing. We have to be aware of it so that we can, not be, like, overtaken by the conformists, okay? Because, um, they know what they're doing. This is so methodical and so planned out, and we need to be the same way. We need to stay a step ahead of them. Like, I don't know how it happens, but one time, like, it happens to me all the time. Like, okay, if you know who Allison Harvard is, she's like a model, photographer, artist person, but okay. No, never mind. Okay, anyway, and so she, she the way, if you look at some of her old photos, the way she dressed seems a little bit hipsterish. But back then there weren't hipsters. So it's like they're getting these ideas from somewhere. Cuz it's all like fashion and stuff. Like they're like fashion is so deeply rooted in the conspiracy that it's not even funny. You could even call it like one of the main aspects of it because oh my gosh, like they have like hipster stores now at the mall, like Forever 21 and things like that. And like that store's okay with me, to be honest. But anyway, uh okay, so they we have to do something. Like, we have to stay a step ahead of them because, like, one time I painted my nails all black except this one I painted red on both hands, and then, not even kidding, it was in like Teen Vogue like 5 months later, and it's like it's probably just a coincidence, but who would think of that? Who would think to paint them all black and then have one red? Like, who would think of that? Because it's like, I don't know, like, isn't it possible that someone saw me wearing it, and then they did it, and then they did it, and, like a chain, But, I don't know, because it's just like, I don't know. But we need to stay a step ahead of them. We need to be doing things. We need to be always thinking. You have to be thinking. You have to be observing. You have to watch what they're doing and then think of the next thing. And don't let them catch up. Because once they catch up, then they'll make everyone the same, and then they'll control us like marionettes. Like, they will, like, we have to stay a step ahead of them. So we need to think of the next thing, and don't talk about it on the internet, because they're on the internet. They own Google. Okay, they're everywhere. They are watching us, and but we have to be watching them too, so that we can see what they're doing, and we can stay a step ahead of them, and then we can't let them control us, because, all right, that's it. So please understand what you have to do. You need to be thinking of things. You need to be original. You need to be creative. And I'm not telling you to do that in a hipsterly way. I'm telling you to, like, we just need to, I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna think of something, I'll let you know, but don't wait for me. Think of something yourself. You need to use that brain that they're trying to take away from you. You need to use it. Don't let them brainwash you. Okay. Bye. That's all now.